Hello, everyone, and welcome to Someone Should Have Told Me. I am so happy to be here with you guys today because I am up in my game. I did a podcast last week and now I'm here again this week. I'm trying to get back to weekly, so I am trying very hard. I think of a whole lot of things that I need to talk to you guys about, but I never get a chance to sit down and do it. But it's getting better. And I am getting my editor and producer back, and that makes things a lot easier for me. But anyway, I was thinking that family is one of the most important things in our lives. Because family, when you think about it, they give you a lot of strength. Or they can rip a lot of strength from you. Either way, family is very valuable. Family is when a mother and a father come together to raise the children. The mom teaching the girls how to be ladies and ladylike, and the dad teaching the boys how to be men and do the things that men should do. Now, that has went out the window because family is pretty much going out the window. Nobody wants to stay married. Nobody wants to stay together and raise the children when you came together and had the children. Now they just running all buck wild, raising themselves because dad then left and mom is trying to work and raise the kids. And it is just chaotic. Whatever happened to the times where there were charm schools and then they went to the debutante ball? That was like the first thing when you were like 12, when they were teaching you how to be ladies and men, and you went to charm school and they were teaching the girls how to sit and cross their legs, how to set a table, how to have a formal dinner, all those things. And then the guys had charm school too, where they were learning how to be men and how to treat a lady, as far as how to walk on the outside of the street when you are walking down the street with a lady, because you're her protector. You're supposed to protect the woman, protect the girl, protect the lady. And so you walk on the outside so that if a car comes and runs up on the curve, it's going to hit you first. I remember telling my boys that at a very young age, and they were saying, why I got to be the one that get hit? Well, neither one of you are supposed to get hit. You're supposed to see the car coming, and you're supposed to grab her, and y'all move out the way. So therefore, nobody gets hit. But you are the savior. They talk about the knight on the white horse coming to rescue the woman. They don't talk about the woman on the white horse coming to rescue the man. That is what things have been turned around. Nobody knows their roles anymore, and they're just winging it. Why do you think that there is so much uncertainty about, I want to be a girl, I want to be a boy? Because nobody is teaching a girl to be a lady and a boy to be a man. Then there is confusion. You know, they would teach the girls how to walk like a lady. Now you see these girls walking and they're walking like a guy. If you walk behind them, you can't tell if they're a girl or a guy if they got on a hoodie or something sometime and they're walking just as hard as the man. They have no etiquette. That is what was taught in charm school, was etiquette, which made us civilized, even though we're not uncivilized totally yet. But it's some things that happen now that, oh my goodness, would make you clutch your pearls back in the day. Steve Harvey had that movie, Think Like a Man. And I remember that he said, you want to have a man that opened the door for you? And he clicked the lock, it went beep, beep. And when I would get in the car with my husband and I would stand on the side and I was like, I want a beep, beep guy. I want a beep, beep guy that opens my door. And it would just be a joke, funny. But my mom used to stand on the sidewalk and wait till my dad rolled the car down, and then she would get in the car because the door on her side was next to the bushes and she would have on high heel shoes, so therefore she didn't want to walk in that dirt to get in the car, so she would stand on the sidewalk and he would roll the car down and then she would get in. That was how gentlemen did. He didn't actually get out the car and go around and open the door for her, but generally if she wasn't getting in the car that way, he would open the door for her. And it was taught that you take care of the women in your life and the women around you. You always open the door and you always make sure that they're okay. Where these days, these guys want you to make sure that they're okay. They are such big whiners sometimes. And instead of them cuddling you, they want to be cuddled. Oh my goodness. The roles are so neutral these days. It's like, you can do the same thing for me as I do for you, which, yes, but can we start off in the right roles? Can we start off you being this great manly man so that I can be the lady that I was taught to be? I cannot be the lady that I was taught to be if I'm with a man that is not being the man that I was taught that he should be. The roles have gotten confused and confusing. And then the outcome of this response is everybody is neutral. And therefore, what's the difference? So a man starts to be like, well, what's the difference if I'm with a woman who is not being the lady that I was taught that she should be, and she's just as hard as any other dude, then I might as well be with the dude because it is easier for me to be with this dude. We got more in common, more things. He's not looking for nothing. We all on the same level. Where is the ladylike women? Where are the manly men? The men that are out and doing the things that men do, like fixing the car and shoveling the snow and cutting the grass. I see so many women cutting the grass now, which that's okay if the manly man has been a man. I've cut grass. I sure have. Like my husband was in the hospital and he couldn't cut grass. He got half his foot cut off. I don't know if I've talked about this or told you guys this before, but if you go back on my YouTube channel, there is Diabetes Get Away From Me, and he got half his foot cut off. The kids were not here. They didn't live in the city, and somebody had to cut the grass, and so I don't mind. I can do whatever is necessary for a household, just like any woman can or any man can. Any man can cook. Any man can do all the cleaning. They can do whatever is necessary. But the whole thing about a family is everybody has their roles and everything gets done. the cooking and the cleaning. Even if you decide to reverse the roles, that's your business in your household. Like after you become a family and a household, if you want to reverse the roles, that's on you. That's your household. That's your family. If that's the way it works, then you do what works for you. You guys know that I am always about what you want, how you want to do it. It's nobody's business but yours. I know people who the husband stays home and takes care of the kids, and they go out and work for a living. The female goes out and work and takes care of the family because they have the better education and they can make more money rather than the husband going out and doing manual labor and making less money. Then he stays home and takes care of the children while she goes out and work. Now, that is not ideal for everyone, but it's ideal for them. It seems to work for them. It's not ideal for me because if anybody's staying home, it's going to be me. I'm sorry. It's going to be me, and I'm the one who will make the house a home for my loving husband. But we both go out and we work. And we always have, but I was the one who made the sacrifices for the shift to take care of the kids. Like I worked midnights. I worked midnights while my kids were little, 8 hours, because that is what I needed to do for my household to survive. So I would go to work at 11 o'clock at night and I would get off at 7. It was not horrible, but my husband, who was working 16 hours a day, and I was only working part-time, so what was a couple of nights a week? For the family dynamics to work. Whatever works. You came together to have these children. Please stay together to raise these children, because then everything gets all out of whack. Nobody knows their role. Nobody knows what to do to make the household work. You got to teach the children how to work out in the yard. My mom used to have us all out working in the yard while my dad was at work. We stayed on the corner. We had tall bushes that we had to edge, and of course we had to clean out from under the bottom, else you would get a ticket back in the day. So we'd all be out there cleaning the yard. And then we had alleyways back then. The trash truck would go through the alley to pick up the trash, but the alleys had got so messy, and then it was starting to populate rats. So then they cut out the alleys. They cut out the alleys and gave you more land in the back of your house because they split the alley. Each house got a little bit more land so that then it was fence to fence, one fence for the two households. Now the fence meets in the back instead of everybody had their own fence, and then there was an alleyway for the trucks to go down and pick up the trash. And then we had to clean the alley. We had to clean the yards. So nobody teaches these kids how to maintain their yard because everybody is working. Mom, dad's working, everybody's working, and nobody got time to teach the kids how to, because then we put them into every activity that we can put them in, and then they don't even know how to cut the grass. They're so tired from doing schoolwork and activities that nobody is maintaining the yard. So therefore, it has become an industry, lawn care. Lawn care was never an industry because everybody did their own lawn. It really doesn't take much to run the lawnmower up and down to cut the grass. and then maybe edge it. And it was very surreal. Like while you were doing that, either you were in deep thought, deep concentration about things that were going on in your life, and it gave you a minute to yourself in your head. Nowadays, everybody's running around doing this, doing that. Do you even make time for your family? Can you sit down and have Sunday dinners where everyone comes together, have dinners? Put your phones down. It's a commercial on TV now, and everybody's got their phones, and the dad says, is this what this become? Where everybody's on their phones? It's a Progressive commercial. And then the guy says, well, turkey is better. And he's so boring that the father says, okay, pick up your phones. But that's the joke. I mean, everybody's getting information from the internet, not talking about their own lives. They're talking about what's going on TikTok and Instagram and what Beyonce is doing and everything but what's going on with each other. And then you have made therapy a big part of everybody's life because you're not talking to each other. So therefore, you got to go talk to a stranger because you have no one to talk to. When you have brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and cousins and friends, that is who we used to talk to. And it's only getting things off of your chest, saying things out loud so that you can think about it, or maybe you and your family member can talk about it and decide what is the proper way to go about it. And you really need someone that has a mind like yours, because everybody has an opinion. You want someone that is closest to your way of thinking to help you with some decisions, help you to talk it out so that you can make your own decisions about your problems. The therapist's job is to listen, and they are professionals, been taught ways to help you analyze and try to come to a decision. But a good therapist will help you to come to a decision on your own and not force their opinion upon you. But everyone is human. Everyone does things differently. So that's why sometimes it's kind of hard to find a good therapist, because even though they've been to school, they do not think like you would think. Book smarts is not street smarts, and it can be kind of difficult to find someone with a like mind like you. So that's why family is so important. When you are growing up in the same household, sisters and brothers, then you kind of have a like mind about the moral situations. And therefore, they can help you, if you trust them to talk to them, to come to the moral decision that you need to make, or help you. No one, family, therapists, no one should be forcing their opinion upon you. You need your own opinion. But family is support. Family is love. If you are down and you think you have nowhere to turn, I know that God is number one, but your family is the one that can help put you back together. And sometimes you can have a messed up family, but it's messed up and you know why it's messed up. For whatever reason it's messed up. And then you have to turn to your friends who you have chosen to be your friends, and who will be there for you because they are your friends. If they can't be there for you, then are they really your friend? I just want you guys to think about it. The breakdown of the family is the start of the breakdown of society. We put the families back together. Try to keep the families together at whatever cost, because you laid down with a person and you created a life. Male, female, it is a life. And that life is a miracle when you think about it. This body, this life grew within inside of a woman after having family, love, husband and wife, love, and created a child. That is really amazing. And that child comes out and it grows so fast. Oh my goodness, that time seems like it just runs so fast. And before you know it, first there's the baby. And then, oh my God, the baby's 5 and going to school. And then, oh my God, it's graduating from elementary and going to middle. And before you know it, that kid's in high school. Oh my goodness, time's almost up. And then 4 years go by so fast. And then they're graduating high school and going on to college and going on to live their lives as they see fit. So when you think about it, you only have a very short period of time to raise your children, teach your children. I did not ever talk baby talk to my children because there's no time. There is no time for me to talk baby talk when I need to be teaching you everything that I can, as much as I can, however I can, because that time from newborn to college goes by so fast that if you blink for too long, you've missed the opportunity. And you want to send your child out with as much knowledge and with as much preparation for the world as you possibly can give a person. I talked about this once before, that it is a video on YouTube where they say everybody born starts off at the same point, basically. Then there are things that you have at birth that put you a couple of steps further, and then something else happens in a couple of steps further. Well, it started out like this. Okay, everybody stand side by side together. Everybody that grew up with 2 parents, step forward. Everybody that grew up and their father worked and their mother stayed home, take a step forward. And then everybody whose father had a college degree, step 2 steps further. If your mother had a college degree, 3 steps further or whatever. And so then by the time you give all these conditions and the people that are stepping forward, they're already starting off ahead of everybody else. So therefore, you have no time to waste. And if you create a child, then you need to give that child everything that you have in you before it leaves you, to let it have the best life that it can be. Now, those who chose not to have children, then you are 20 steps ahead of everybody who had children, because now you need to be focused on your career and on your life, and for it to be the fullest life that it can be. You know, people who have children have second thoughts after they've had the children, like, oh my goodness, what was I doing? I had these children and I can't get rid of them until they're 18. At least you're not supposed to get rid of them. I do know people that have had children and they've spent more time with a suitcase in their hand, going to grandmas, aunties, and friends, and anybody else that would have them, so the mother could be free. Which, that's no good. That's not stability. And so maybe they shouldn't have had that child, but they didn't figure it out till later, and then it's too late, and who suffers? The child. And then the father is half there, half not, because you're supposed to plan a little bit. And mistakes happen, and you get pregnant and you have the baby, but you still, once you have a child, your life is pretty much not the focus anymore. The focus is this child who you have to get prepared for the world. Therefore, forget about yourself for a minute, unless you can do it all at one time and you have a very, very good support group, like a husband or a good father figure for your children. I do know a young lady who had 2 children, and each time she thought that she couldn't get pregnant. She had 2 children, and so she wasn't planning to have a family, but the family occurred, and everything that happens to you is for your development and your transition. So this was what happened to her, but she continued, and she had a good support group. So then she went on and finished college and bought a house and taking care of the kids and whatever she needed to do. It was one point in time she had lost her job and went and worked at White Castles. She did whatever that she needed to do to take care of her family. And that is what parents do. Once you have a child, then you become a family. And if the man is getting on your nerves, if he's a good man and he's taking care of his child and trying to take care of you, then stop standing in your own way and just accept the good help, because everybody don't have good help. If you have to do it by yourself, then do it by yourself. But know that the kids are the most important thing in this family life. And that if you can have a husband who is in the house, or have a wife that is in the house, so try to choose wisely when you have your children. Choose someone who you think might be there for you. I mean, because my husband and I, oh my Lord, I think we argued the most when the kids were little, because he had his way, I had my way. We both have rights to the children. They're both our children. And so we raised them together, and we acknowledged each other on each point, even though sometimes it made us argue. But we did it. And had we maybe chose someone who was more like ourselves, then we wouldn't have to argue so much, because you know the story. I was a PK kid, preacher's kid, and he was a motorcycle man's kid. And oh my goodness, thank God my kids turned out okay, because It was a pull. It was a struggle. I had to argue at every point sometimes, but they are perfect for who they are. And they are in this human race, and they're doing the best they can, and they're doing a great job, and they are good human beings. We turned out good human beings. And that is the most important thing in this human race that is structured around family. Thank you for listening to me. You can email me at sshhtmpodcast@gmail.com and give me your thoughts. You can listen to me on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere that you get your podcasts. Thank you again. I hope you have a great day and a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. I love you guys so much. Bye.